Yeah, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Positive vibes, baby. PVM TalkShow, another glorious Wednesday evening, and you decided to come here to watch us, to listen to us. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. What's going on with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Jeide track here. My brother Dash is going to be in the building very shortly. Our guest is already here. Our esteemed and special guest, J Rose. What's going on with you, love? Tion Wells, what's going on with you, King? You know, and there go Dash right there. This shit is like divine timing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to send out a couple of invitations, a couple of folk that have frequented and do frequent our programming, you know what I mean? Just to let them know what's going on and what's going down. And then we're just going to get things right on the way, right on the money. Today is a special episode. We are going to honor the poets today. Since it's National Poetry Month, Betty Boop, what's going on with you, love? We are going to honor the poets today. Myself and Dash, we've written some pieces for y'all. We're going to be sharing it with the most potent and ever so lovely J Rose, aka my crumbled thoughts. So let's get them up in here. So, you know, kick this thing off right the way that it needs to be kicked off. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi, are you?
Give me 1 second.
Nah.
Hi. Good. I couldn't hear you before. I was like, what is going on?
J Rose, love.
Oh my goodness. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Can y'all hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Right on. How are you?
Oh, let me share this with some people. Let people know what's good.
I know. That's what I'm doing right now. So don't mind me if I'm making weird faces, guys.
Me?
Oh, no, me.
What's going on with you, J Rose? How are you?
I'm good. I'm just sharing the live so people could join us.
Right on. Yes.
How y'all doing today?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing? How's everybody? What's everybody been up to today? You know.
I've had a busy day.
All right, let's hear some details, y'all. Let's get some details. You know?
I mean, like, I went to work, you know, like most people do, and then I actually I performed at Lehman College, and
Okay.
I'm like,
Shots to that.
Thank you. I'm just getting back.
Okay. What you did? Poetry, or you did spoken word? Something?
Yeah, I did some spoken word.
Okay. I'm liking that. That's actually the theme for
Yes.
tonight's episode. You know.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. You know. So before we even get into it, do you want to give like the people a quick background about you and what you do? You know.
Sure. I'll make it as short and sweet as possible because I do a lot. So I'm J Rose. I am a spoken word poet from Queens, New York. I do spoken word. I host and curate events. I've been doing that for a very long time. I've been writing poetry for over 20 years.
Ooh.
I've been performing for 7 years. I've been curating events for about the same amount of time, 7 years. And, you know, I have a talk show, and yeah, I do a lot of stuff when it comes to the creative community, not just here in New York, but, you know, I do a lot of virtual stuff, especially, you know, of course, the pandemic, you know, pushed us into this virtual space. So I host virtual events, I host in-person events, I do a little bit of everything.
Okay, I can dig it. So tell me more about this TV show. Like, what is it about? What's the name? Where can we go watch it?
Yeah, so my talk show is called The J Rose Experience, and it's a show where I travel to different cities and I interview poets and other creatives in those cities. We've filmed 4 seasons already. We did New York, we did Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Tampa. So we're actually going to bring it back to New York for the 5th season. I'm really excited about that. It's called, you can find it on my YouTube channel at the Rose Garden Events. That's the name of my business. If you follow me, everything's in the link in the bio. Make it easy for everybody. You can follow the show, you can subscribe and all that stuff. But yeah, the show is awesome. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to not just like interview dope poets, but travel to do it. Yes. So it's been an awesome journey. I would have never thought I'd be doing this if you would have if you'd have told me like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like, oh, you're going to be having a talk show, you're going to be performing all over the country, I'd be like, hell no.
Well, tell us a little bit about that journey. Why do you feel like that had been like a stretch for you back then?
Well, obviously I feel like, I mean, like a lot of artists early in their journey, I didn't really believe in myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't think that I was good enough as a writer. I was very scared to talk in front of people. So I was like, what? Perform? Like, are you crazy? Like, no, I didn't think that I would, that I was good enough to do that. And it took going through a very difficult time in my life, and needing some type of like transformative like shift in my life. I needed to do something that was so different for me that, I had no choice but to transform. And that was stepping on the stage and sharing my poetry. And that changed my life forever.
Right on. Damn.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
yeah.
Everybody in here.
So what was the biggest hurdle for you before your first performance? Like, how was you feeling before that initial performance?
I wanted to throw up. I was really nervous. I was reading from my phone. I was shaking. I was breathing. I was like speed reading through my phone. Let's correct that. I was shaking. I had no cadence, nothing. It was scary, but it was something where it was like rip it off like a Band-Aid. I was like, just do it. Just get on there and do that. Can I curse? Is it okay if I curse? Yeah. Okay. Just do that shit, get it over with. And, and when I got off the stage, I was like, did you die?
I love that.
Right on. So for the people here who are familiar, because I'm still getting familiar myself, I was blessed enough to see J. Rose in action last week at a little spot called Sour Mouse in Lower East Side. And
yes.
Your style, I told you this too. Like, I'll step off of my words, you know what I mean? It's really commanding. Like, you have a real MC spirit about you, you know what I mean? Stepped up on the stage and you broke the ice immediately with something raunchy and wild. And it had people like, whoa, hold on. Brought them in. When you brought them in, then you kind of, and I still say today, I'm like, yo, that couldn't have been your first love poem. I know that you say do it, but the way you did it, I'm like, yo, that's way too polished. Then you brought them in with love. You brought them in with punchy. You sat them down with love. You served them with love. And then you brought the unity to them as a dessert. And that shit works so perfectly. This shit works.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for joining us. You know, we appreciate you, you being here, having you. And right, because, I myself am a writer, poet. My brother Dash, he's a writer and a poet as well. And we talked about having an episode in which we were going to write. Usually, every once in a while, we have these episodes where we would write and share with us. Only right for us to have this episode featuring you. So thank you once again.
Oh, I'm excited. Thank you. I love that you paid attention to that whole set, because everything I do when it comes to my artistry, there's like intention with what I'm doing. And the fact that you like really tapped into the layout of the set and the way I, put my put my poems in order and the way I did. Like, the fact that you paid attention to that, like, that means so much to me, and that you acknowledge it. So thank you. So, oh my God, thank you so much.
Right. We got to know you, and it's only fair that you get to know us.
Yes.
So, I wrote some pieces. I wrote 3 fresh pieces specifically for today. So I'll start off. My first piece I wrote is a haiku, actually. And I really rock with haikus. I really rock with short pieces because there's this story that I always used to tell, and I was telling it as the myth. Apparently, that myth has been busted. The play for Ernest Hemingway, in which one of the characters was given this position in order to write a 6-word story.
Right.
And the 6-word story that is so captivating, it stays with me to this day, is for sale baby shoe. Never.
What?
Right. And from that time on, and learning what I just really gravitated towards the impact and the strength and the potency of being short, sweet, succinct, and that, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's like concentrate.
Word, straight concentrate. So this first piece of mine, I start off like so. Chasing yesterday and thirst for tomorrow's wake honors not the now.
Ooh. Okay, poet. That was deep.
Yeah.
I like that. Look, you got your brother like, damn.
I know, like, well, Jeide always be coming with that heat. I already know what to expect with him. Like, it's like opening a bottle of fine wine. Like, I'm just interested to see like where he at, like mentally.
Right. Oh, I love it. That was dope.
I know. Like, I like this. So I love it. Like when we had the poets up on here, because, like, as Jeide said, we're both writers, so give us a chance to like see different ways creative minds work and how they, you know, what they feel. And like for myself, as you were talking earlier about how when you was first entering into writing and expressing yourself, you was having trouble and confidence just expressing your words. And that's something I've always battled. And even with battling that has always been, how much of my story should I tell, as opposed to how much of it is just telling too much, you know? So I've always been trying to navigate that line, even within my poetry. I'm not trying to tell too much, but also trying to, you know, convey how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. So
I feel like sometimes that that question, it clogs the creativity. It filters the creativity when you question yourself. I think that, like, it's never too much to share your story and your truth, because sometimes, you know, we go through some fucked up shit as people, and, you know, you never know that maybe that piece that you didn't share, like, you don't know who that might connect with and who else that might help, you know, and you don't know sometimes how healing that could be for yourself and for others by you actually like getting it out onto paper. You know, it's your decision if you want to share that with people, but as a writer, you should just write it and get it out. And then you decide if it's something that you want to share with people or not. You know, you can adjust to that. But, you know, I think that, you know, don't question yourself, you know, as a writer, and question that, you know, like, as long as you ain't dropping names, you know, no face, no case. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you get into your emotional bag and the names start to flow out. And I had to couple times. That can't make it cut.
You gotta change the name.
Oh man! All right, so I'm gonna share a piece next. So So I'm in the process of writing a poetry book. So these are poems that are kind of like inspired off the book. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually use them or if there's just like more so just like something to just get out my system. But I'm gonna present. Okay, I'm gonna start off with this one first. So they all three of them are kind of like in order, and it's kind of starting off from. Well, I'm starting off from when I ended my previous relationship, and it's starting off from that standpoint, and then transitioning on to my healing process throughout. So,
Yes.
Without further ado, I'm gonna start off this one. When we parted, there was only silence and tears. A couple half-hearted, broken hearts, and rage. Server to your insecurities. I grew distant, and you grew cold. And then at that moment, what we both knew began to unfold.
My heart. I've been there.
Thank you.
For real though, for real.
Yes. Like, is it, when you get through writing a piece like that, does it feel like weight lifting off your shoulders a little bit?
A little bit. Actually, that was like part of like a couple poems I wrote that night that actually like put out a little tear from me, and I was like, "Damn, like this shit is hitting hard." Like
I definitely have pieces like that where I've gotten really emotional, and sometimes it's not even the piece itself; it's actually like the emotions that my piece is triggering in other people, and I can because I'm so empathic, I can actually feel that, and it becomes really heavy for me, and I get emotional, and I'm like, damn, I don't ever cry when I'm doing this poem, but right now, I did a poem last week, actually the day after we met at Sour Mouse. I performed in the Bronx, and I performed the last piece that I did, or not the rap, the other piece, and this girl was at the front row, like bawling, like she's just crying. And I'm just like, oh my God. I almost started crying while I was doing my piece. And she's just like, oh my God, your words. Like, it was just like, I don't even know what, I've never cried listening to poetry. And I'm like, oh gosh. I was like, I'm glad you felt my words. But yeah, it gets heavy sometimes.
yeah. That's when you know that your words really mean something. And that's really when it start hitting home for you. Like, damn, like it really meant that much to you as much as it meant to me. Okay.
Yeah. And there's this like, now we're connected through this emotion, and I think that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Akin to what you said earlier, J. Rose, is something that, sometimes us artists, us poets, us writers, sometimes we do get into a self-conscious pocket as far as what we choose to disclose. But one thing that I've learned in throughout all the years of me writing and performing as well, and I'm sure Dash can attest to this as well, some always relate.
Right.
It doesn't matter how deep, it doesn't matter how dark, it doesn't matter how left you get. Someone will always relate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we all humans at the end of the day going through different emotions. Like
exactly.
You never know what somebody needs at that moment.
I've definitely had people come up to me after certain poems and said how much they needed it, and how it's just sometimes it's hard sometimes I can't even I'm like, wow, like really, like I and it's us, like it's for me, I feel like I'm just like minimizing my shit, by like being surprised that like somebody actually felt my words. And I have to like stop that feeling of like being surprised. I have to like be like, yeah, you know what? Yes, I'm glad you felt this. This is why I wrote it, because I wanted, to connect with someone. I want, people to feel and relate, so yeah.
Yeah. That's a fact. said truth and honesty is hard. It's raw. And that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about art too. When it comes from a genuine place, you know what I mean? That's a real statement. But shit, authentic. Feel it. Yes, when people feel it, I don't want to say it gives validation, because just being an artist and being able to express alone is the validation in and of itself. But it allows you, once again, you know, like you said, J. Rose, it allows you to understand that, you know what I mean, you are a part of a larger connection, a part of a larger, you know, collective of people that are experiencing this. Like you said, Dash, you know what I mean? It's the human experience is what people, you know, we're all going through it as humans, you know what I mean? And it brings us closer together, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So do I share a poem now? Is that how this works?
If you want, you can share.
Okay, sure. I'll do that love poem that you talked about. So this is a poem about long distance love. And you know, it's titled Muse. All right, I hope you like it. Baby, I'm here to tell you you're a gift. A blessing within chaos. I never expected you to exist. A muse falling from the very heavens. I praise the moment we met, this virtual connection, virtually transcending into more than friends. Fantasies flooding the gates of my imagination as I surrender my heart to undreamed dreams I never imagined to dream. Admiring your stealthiness as you steal my hidden affection like the slowest thief in the longest night, one piece at a time I oblige. Taking my breath away every time I look into your eyes. Visions of standing close enough to gift wrap my lips wrapped around your whispers. Your voice vibrating through me, manifesting new life into my stars where there's constellation in the constellation of your words from afar. Alignment has never aligned with such grace. Lord knows I never felt more royal in space. Baby, I'm trying to tell you, you out of this world. Past cloud nine, dominating all layers of my mind. There's no hole in this ozone. Our conversations can't redesign. This type of atmosphere throws my existence off its axis, and now I know why all my exes made their exits. See, caught between space and time and space like a palindrome, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, the message stays the same. There's writing on the wall. And I wonder if its density is a destiny that was meant for me. I must be betrothed to your essence like a queen, made in the reflection of your presence, where my gratitude fills you a throne of reverence, king. May I be the brightest gem to adorn your crown. See, I've built castle walls made up of my shadows, but the smiles you conjure out of me shine a light through the loopholes, and for the first time in a long time, I could see my way out. I've always said, never fall in love with a poet, for they'll never love you more than words, but baby, you are language, created for expression. And although the difference in our distance is a torture of time zones, 5 hours ahead just means you've always been in my future, baby. I'm trying to tell you, you got all my attention. And that's more than what I can say, what I say anyone else. They don't deserve to crave me like you do. Yearning for unexpected mysteries, uncovering undetected vulnerabilities, exposing unperfected symmetries, yet you always match my energy. We must be designed to satisfy our sapiosexual drive like we're cruising on a Sunday afternoon, sharing sun rays on some days, what I do to share a breeze with you someday. You see, patience isn't my strongest suit, but I practice wearing it if it means I share new virtue with you. And some would say I'm falling for you, but baby, it feels more like I'm floating for you. Ascending to this high, facing my fear of heights and love, ascending to this high, journaling this journey of joy with you. Encapsulating this story in this love poem, you as my muse, and I'm just amused that I ain't even have to write this shit. You saw it in my eyes long before the words came to my mind and made it to my pen, how beautiful it is to be seen. Our fluency in love languages rekindle flames of past lives, a reminder that I'm still alive. With poetry bursting at my seams, I built an arc of sonnets to carry me across uncharted seas, as long as you're here to read it. Thank you. That's my piece.
Damn. Yo. I'm in love.
Oh, let me tell you something. I came home at first at Sour Mouth. What you know that I resonate so much with it. My lady is in Philly, and I'm up here.
Oh, see?
Talk about long distance relationships. It hit a real place. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
have a line where about something that we've all been taught to be aware of. I don't want to say a warning per se, but just as far as falling in love with an artist or falling in love with a
Right.
but the way you flip it, like
Yeah.
that shit fly to the motherfucker.
Thank you.
Different, you know what I mean? Different. Like if you're an artist, you know what I mean? It's like if you're an artist, you know, you got your muse, you need your space, you know what I mean? There's priorities, there's a lot of things that come in, but when you're the living embodiment of expression, just be like you just are, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
a lot of shit, yo.
Yeah. No, it's difficult to love an artist, and I can speak as like a poet, right? It's difficult to love a poet, or any creative because, artistry is our like first love, it's what leads us to love ourselves. It's how we express how we feel about what's going on outside, what around us, what's going on inside, and sometimes people who aren't tapped into that space, they don't understand that, sometimes we need space, right? Or sometimes we aren't motivated, so we need something to motivate us. Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves as much as we should. And we go through this like roller coaster of emotions and thoughts, and this is good, no, this is bad. And sometimes people can't handle all of that, and having to deal with all that, or, sometimes the attention that we get as artists. I know for me, I get attention sometimes because I do erotic poetry. And sometimes I get the attention that I'm not really looking for that kind of attention. I'm just being a creative that's embracing, my sexuality and owning my sexuality. So, because, the society could sexualize me, but the minute I sexualize myself is wrong. So for me, that's my way of empowering myself, but not everybody receives it that way. And I do get sometimes the attention that I'm not really looking for. And sometimes people can't handle, as a partner, having a partner that does that, especially like I do erotic poetry nights. I'm like dressed in lingerie and shit, like sometimes, and that's hard, make for some people that don't understand the artistry. That's hard for them to like kind of handle, and so for me, it's like, listen, if you love me and you fuck with me, like, and I love you back, there ain't nothing you gotta worry about, So that's how it is.
Dig on it. Since we're doing this little roulette,
Rotation. Let's go. This is cipher. It's a poetry cipher.
So my actually inspired by something that I did that almost burnt my brother's house down.
Oh my God.
You tell, Daddy. You tell.
I have this theory that I go by, and my brother is well aware, and my family in general, they're well aware of it. You know what I mean? And I no longer believe in writer's block.
Okay.
Because there's far too much in the form of inspiration that is around us every day. And it could be something as minuscule as seeing a bumblebee fly to something as impactful as having somebody in your life transition. But ways inspiration around. You just have to be able to be mindful of your surroundings, of the pulse of life. Because with every pulse of life, there's something happening. There is no dull, So when I was thinking about what I did to my brother's windowsill, I was like, you know what? I should write this. You know what I'm saying? I should just like intermingle, you know what I'm saying, interchangeably with some shit
Yeah.
that, you know, I have healed from and I'm continuing to heal from, you know what I mean? So this is that piece.
Okay.
I'm reminded to be mindful of the collateral damage in scrubbing the mind's surface clean of its scorched stains. Lighting paragraphs and graphic illustrations of flame helps me rid of my shame. In meditation upon the fire's light, I maintain inhalation of smoke for my own serotonin's gain, but still accountable for the mess. Nothing's more elusive than brittle ash dancing apart upon the breeze, spreading its transmutation across the floors of my newly waxed consciousness. Memories of abominations long abolished, while apparitions admonish my apparent aggression. Illusions alleviating the absence of the absolved. Ego is a bitch. But her golden awareness reminds me to be lateral damage and scrubbing the mind's surface clean of its scorched stains. Because beneath the veneer, the solid truth always remains.
Dang. I like that. That's real.
Dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
You already know the line that stood out to me. That's so true. Ego is a bitch. Like.
And honestly, real quick, the whole thing actually happened. Hold on, fuck that shit. I'll show you. Cause like I was,
He's like, I got the receipt.
I'm trying to like make a pillow pad and shit, so I could clean it up, and then I fucked it up even more. So.
No. Oh,
No.
damn.
I was like, oh shit.
Yo.
That's great. That's amazing that you just, write something so poetic about such a, like, everyday kind of like life thing.
Yeah.
Just find the inspiration in all the things.
For real.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I know. Sometimes you got to just like enjoy the journey, in the process of where you're at. Sometimes it's okay to just enjoy the mess that you're in, and appreciate the fact that you're dealing with the mess.
Yeah. It's temporary, and when you step out of it, you're going to look back and, it helps you appreciate like the good times better. Like it, let's say you can't appreciate the sweet without the sour,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Down without the rain,
Something about the rain.
That bring out a lot of elements to rain, like, and it's not all bad. It's like, I get the, I'm turned on vibes. I get the, I'm happy. I want to walk in the rain. Sometimes I get the melancholy. I just want to play on the piano in the dark room.
For real though.
Right.
Listen.
It's a lot of different emotions.
That's fact. It really depends where you are, what headspace you're in at the time, I think like, I don't want to say I don't believe in writer's block, but I do believe that like sometimes writers don't allow themselves to be fully present in like just letting things flow, so there's this like expectation of how things are supposed to flow out of you. And when it doesn't flow out of you that way, that's when you think you're blocked, so sometimes you just gotta like write and just, free writes are great to do. You just time yourself for a minute, 2 minutes, and you just write whatever comes to your mind. It could be like, I don't know what to write, and then little by little you do that. And usually like the last 30 seconds, now shit starts coming to your head and you're like,
See, I just got into free writing a few years ago, thanks to Jeide, our executive producer, Kang. You know, like they put that on me and was like pushing that. So, like how you said, it do like towards the end, like you start picking up ideas. And, like,
Yeah.
that is my best recipe for when I'm quote unquote having writer's block. I just be like, just start writing about anything.
Can I do a shameless plug? I gotta hold on, wait. I gotta get it. Wait, hold on, I gotta get it. Hold on. I wasn't ready.
In the meantime,
okay.
Reason said
I got it. Okay.
it can create a block. Just like a computer, we have to process things. Absolutely.
Wait, so Jeide, who's going in and out on my version?
Oh, it's no problem. She's back, so we're going to... Okay.
So I published this book with my fellow co-creator, Leah V. And it's a journal for writer's block that has prompts and activities, and we designed the book from cover to cover. So this is it. It's called the Writer's Unblocked Journal. I actually sold out of hard copies, but we are selling the digital copy on my website. So the link is in the bio if anybody wants to buy it. It's only $7.99 for the digital version. And there's like different games. I gotta show you the page I'm most proud of, because creating this page as a graphic designer was so hard. It's like a crossword prompt.
Oh,
shit. Yeah. And there's also there's 2 poems here, one by me and one by my co-creator Leah V, and the prompt is to do block poetry and create a new poem out of words that's on the poem. So yeah, there's some cool stuff here. It's not just prompts, it's activities and games and stuff like that. But yeah, this was our 2020 project that we did, nothing else to do in 2020 but create shit. So we did this.
Yeah, that's a classic right there.
That is
Yeah.
Young, outside of one of my favorite things I used to love doing with the newspapers was the crossword puzzle. So the fact, what? I fuck with it, yo.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we got real creative with it. We're supposed to be publishing 2 other kinds of books. We just haven't gotten around to getting it done because, we outside, we're busy. But yeah, it's definitely one of my most proudest moments in 2020. It was publishing that journal. It was pretty cool.
We need everybody in here to go check out J Rose, her journal with her I don't know your co-creator's name. Please pardon.
Yeah.
Oh, Leah V.
Leah V and J Rose in there. Listen, check out this journal. Check out this journal for writer's block, for all writers they got activities, they have poems, they have things that will allow you interactive to get up out of your space, to get up out of your zone, and for you to express fully and freely. Go check that out.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. The link is in the bio, so just follow me. Hang out in that link in the bio. There's a lot over there, so you go and you press that link and you just have a good old time in there, and you'll see me.
Wait, so what inspired y'all to create the book? And how was that process of actually picking each other to decide to do the project together with?
Well, we had started doing virtual open mics when the world shut down. We were actually one of the first people that started doing it, and we started doing them on Zoom. Everybody else was doing IG lives, and we started doing them on Zoom, and then we transitioned into StreamYard. We still do them once a month. We stream it live on my Facebook and YouTube channel at the Rose Garden event. It's once a month. So we were doing these virtual open mics, but at that time we were doing it every Friday, every week we were doing them because we didn't have shit else to do. So, there was no open mics going on outside. The world was closed. and we wanted to like create like some type of like merch or something like that, you know, to go along with the open mic. And, you know, the thought process was like, oh, let's do t-shirts. And it's like, everybody does t-shirts. You know, let's try to do something different. And then, you know, it was like, oh, let's do journals. And then it was like, let's do journals with writing prompts. Oh my God, that's perfect. And so, you know, we sat down, we thought about we brainstormed different prompts, different ideas, and the prompts are really cool. Like we tried to do stuff that you don't typically see. You know, like you mentioned 6-word story, like that's a very popular prompt, you know. So we did stuff like, you know, we did haiku prompts where we gave you certain words that you had to use in the haiku. There's a prompt to write a ghost story. You know, like you don't really, when do you ever think about writing a ghost story? You know, that's not like a common thing, you know, so once in a while you think about it, but you don't really do it. So, you know, it has like really cool prompts. I'm really proud of the journal. I don't plug it as much as I do anymore because we don't have any hard copies anymore, but the digital copy has every page that's in the journal, even the pages to write on if you want to print it out and stuff like that. So, yeah, like it's a dope thing, you know. I forget I have that sometimes. I do so much shit. It's crazy.
And we glad you remember.
Yeah. We're gonna have to tap into that. Like, that's like my nightly activity tonight.
Yeah, you know, and it's when you order the digital version, it's like an instant download, so you get it right away, you know. It goes right to your email, and that's it. You know, it's pretty cool. So thanks for the opportunity to talk about that. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing it. Honestly.
Thanks.
And because you did that, that's your contribution in this cipher. You don't have to contribute because you doing something like that is tip of the top. You know what I'm saying? That's the cashew butter spread. You know?
I love it. I appreciate it.
I know. That's like 2 pieces right there, for real.
Oh, listen. I have plenty of poetry. Whenever you guys want me to share, I got tons of shit. You already know.
Hey, well, we still got a third round to do once I do the second poem. So, I mean, if you want to share another one, feel free.
Yeah, go. I want to hear what you got.
All right. This next poem is like in the next step of the healing process. This is, you know, me being free. So that's actually the name of the poem, Free.
Ooh.
I'm thankful. I'm so damn thankful that I'm out of love again. I've been a slave to this woman's heart, but now I'm free. I've been tortured and blind by the simplicity of her lies. Once caged, but now I hold the key. And once more, I'm finally free. Free to choose anybody, including me.
Let's go.
So, well, that's really self-explanatory. Like, that's really just how I was feeling. Like, I really was around at work, and I was just like really thinking about like a lot of stuff that we went through, and then like the overwhelming thing was just like, you know what? Even through all my faults, whatever I did with my heart. So like, right or wrong,
right? That's
how I felt, you know. Like, so I'm cool with whatever we at, you know, and I could find peace with that, and you know, I found peace in it, like.
Right. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Last line was beautiful. That's all. Last line, like that was
including me.
Point, but that last line.
It's a self-love for me.
You know? We're in this time of self-love and, you know, valuing yourself, and, you know, like as I started sitting more and more with myself, I'm just like, you know, like I love me, you know, I'm cool with me, you know. If what we had didn't work for you, that's cool, because whatever's out here for me, it's gonna find its way. And until then, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing.
As you should.
Well, y'all want to start up the third round?
We can start.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. If y'all want, I'll start up the third round. I'll go.
All right, we can do that. Yes, sir.
So this is like the final step in that. So this really don't have no title. It's just more so feelings that I was feeling, and you know, I hope it makes some sense. So, okay. Sunlight is creeping in, as if my eyes were closed for 1,000 lives. Air has finally returned. My lungs, they feel full. I can breathe. Life is so refreshing. Smells are new. Even the taste of food has changed. Everything tastes brand new. I feel uneasy, yet I still feel free. And I'm at peace. I'm at peace with the man I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm finally discovering the love I've been hiding from me.
It's that growth.
Yeah.
That growth. Beautiful.
Thank y'all. I appreciate that a lot.
Oh.
Well, whomever, you know, can step up to the plate. I'm handing this baton all to whoever want to take it.
First of all, once again, thank you, Dash. Actually took me to a place, a past breakup of mine that where I was grounding outside and I was in tears, bro. Like, and it wasn't necessarily because of the breakup as much as life. I was like, yo, what now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you illustrated everything about how like smelled new, food tasted, you know what I mean? Just like how your senses are they're enlivened again. You know what I'm saying? Like I relate with that. You know what I mean? So much.
Right.
Cause that post breakup is hard. You know, like there's a lot of dark clouds. Shit that start looking down after a while. You know, you do kind of like. Well, depending on how you feel about that person, you do got to take that time, and then once you start rebounding, you know, everything start to kind of click or change, and you kind of feel that energy shift, like where it don't really bother you or hold you down as much. You feel like, okay, I'm free.
Right. I think that like dealing with a breakup is like dealing with a death. You know, you have to mourn the breakup. You have to mourn the relationship. Especially if it's been a long-term relationship, or if it's like, you know, even like deeper ties, like children involved, like you are mourning the death of something that was a part of you, because, you know, you poured into that. And sometimes we don't take time to fully mourn, or, you know, there's losses that we take in our lives, that we lose people, and we never really fully recover from that loss. And sometimes some relationships, you know, it's like that. You never really fully recover, but you find a space where you are, you know, okay, and that you can still like thrive and still grow and not hinder yourself, you know, but then also be able to be present in your feelings enough that like be sad sometimes, because that situation sucked. And it's okay that it still fucking sucks. You know, there's nothing wrong with still feeling that. But you know, make sure you find that light, you know, that you like that freeness in yourself, you know, that you're finding. I think that was very beautiful, the way you penned that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great story.
You know, art is a reflection of your life, you know. Whether we try to deny it or not, or try to hide it, it start coming out in more ways than once.
Facts.
And
Got
even
it.
when I try to avoid writing about it, I write about it. So
Understand. I understand that.
So you know, this mine's kind of dark, y'all.
okay,
Okay,
I like dark.
let's go.
I got back from work today and I was just getting myself in the mood, just like right, and I was finishing this movie called Let Me. That's apparently about vampires.
Mm.
I was just, but there's more types of, you know what I'm saying, vampires than just the blood sucking kinds. And then from there on, I started just thinking about different, you know, entities and whatnot. And I just decided to write something of a warning, if you will, just of various entities.
Okay.
Vampires exist, bloodsuckers indeed. But beware those whose reach is only intended to pull you from your nest, drain you of your energy, graveyard shifts devoid of rest. They sink not their teeth into your flesh, the sink guilt beneath your sorrow, hollow. Pedophiles not all require the bodies of children. Where those who lure your inner child close with promise of sweet liberation, candy acts of lust coated and bantered, embellished with wrappers of intelligent rhetoric, chocolate dipped knowledges of spiritual sciences, disrobing the innocence you bleed, sweat, and cry to preserve. These preservatives now genetically modified to unnerve for what is sweeter than forbidden fruit. So prophets prophetically prophesize for profit. Beware of the pro-fit. Not every third eye mind designed to breathe space, contemplate, beauty of a commonplace, to tell you the version of great as something better. What's the word of every eye to Stevie Wonder's letter? Love exists. Frame the rhyme. Beware of those who remove the S's from that frame of mind to vertically dissect the letters with lines and sell you the idea as divine.
Mm. Mm.
Dang.
Wow. Fire. Damn, you got it.
That's like great.
Damn, okay.
Like,
okay. I didn't get the invite. Okay, I didn't get the memo.
Like one up. Like that was beautiful.
So. I love it, love it, love it. Mm.
That was beautiful.
You really tapped into that.
Yeah. And
very good.
Because, you know, several years ago, you know, I've said this on PVM slightly, but my family knows several years ago when I left the relationship that I referenced as far as like me grounding and me in tears or whatnot, that relationship spiraled something crazy. And it was something out of both of our control, but because of connections, because of like extraneous connections and whatnot, it ended up resulting in an evening in which I was actually possessed. And I had to have an exorcism performed on me and shit.
What?
And so during the entire course of that relationship, I got to see a lot about the world and about, you know what I'm saying, like failed alleyways and shit like that, as far as, you know, what can be one face in one way turns to a different face another day type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's super deep. I would like to hear more about that story one day.
I know, right? We're gonna have to make that the topic one day, like
you know,
that whole situation.
I'll tap right in for that for sure. Dope. I mean, yeah, we're on some like self-healing vibes right now. So I'm gonna I'll share a piece that's about like self-healing and growth and stuff like that. And I need a little bit of help in the beginning. I'm gonna say some affirmations. If you guys would do me the honor of saying them along with me. He knows what I'm about to. He's excited. All right. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a few affirmations before we go into this piece. I am worthy of wealth.
I am
worthy of wealth.
I am worthy of health.
I am worthy of health.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I am enough.
I am enough.
And when shit gets rough, I'm still enough.
I'm still enough.
Ashe. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you.
All right, so let's get into this piece. Some have wealth in the form of riches, while others have wealth in the form of wishes. And I'm just here claiming my wealth in spirit, minding my business, hard hat and pickaxe, just minding my business, turning wishes into riches and riches into attitude switches. So don't be mad when I hit the switch and my attitude switches. And the only light you see is the flames from burning bridges. See, for me, there's nothing more releasing than releasing negativity. So tonight, I released 3 things that had me fucked up. Number 1, love from yesterday's newspaper. Daily news headlines of all the New York Times. I stood on a block of my blessings, hanging myself over a man that was blocking my blessings. They say love hurts, but sometimes it feels more like organs compressing, airways constricted, heartbeat convicted. I tried to speak in love languages, but the translation was restricted and the reciprocity was too limited. Claiming unconditional love, yet leaving me was easier than loving me. So the condition was that I had to be enough and never was. Or so I thought. You see, I had to be abandoned so that I could abandon everything I thought I had to be. And standing outside the window of solitude, I sang sweet serenades to find myself, and with the fire in my heart, I cut soul ties to close chapters that no longer serve me. Number 2, the troublesome twins, depression and anxiety, who love to play wicked games, and although they may not look alike, their malice feels the same. Throwing my train of thought off its track with inhibitions, had to stand clear of closing doors and lost ambitions. Motivation wasn't enough because discipline was non-existent, both holding me back with their mental confliction. So, I parented my thoughts and emotions. I colored them back into the lines. I sat them at the children's table when it was time to dine, read them bedtime stories of a warrior queen that always survived, taught them boundaries with self-love and patience. It's okay to not be okay, but it's time to step into healing situations because the wounds are now scars and the pain is just a distant sensation. Feelings felt so far that so far I haven't felt so far from feeling so sensational. And number 3, the Insecurity Ninja. I built a foster home to foster the syndrome of imposters. I fueled its power with self-doubt and insecurities. I was blind to what y'all see in me. So I strolled to the rhythm of serenity. I sat by the sea of sincerity, hoping to see what y'all see in me with more clarity. Crying diamonds from the pressures of life as they reflect my light as far as the eye can see. Drowning in jeweled waves of tears so that my tears could wave goodbye to the woman I used to be. I could finally say I was blind, but now I see. And not with my eyes, but with my seeds. You see, everything I do is for the birth of their legacy. They're the mangoes in this lineage of poison ivy. Fun fact, mangoes are poison ivy is related to mangoes, cashews, and pistachios. Google it. Now back to these affirmations of transformation, setting the bar high like views from a bird's eye. The only limit to my light is the sky, and I see the feminine divine within me. I see my ancestors within me. I see the love within we. I see the unity within we. I see the we within me and the me within we. So repeat after me. I am worthy of wealth.
Oh, well.
I am worthy of health.
I am worthy of health.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I am enough.
I am enough.
And when shit gets rough,
and when shit gets rough,
I'm still enough.
I'm still enough.
I say, guys, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Bring your lighters up. Throw your lighters up.
Not the double lighters. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, that piece was very, very transformative for me. It's a very new piece. I wrote it this year. And I've had a lot of stuff that I've been, it's been kind of dragging me down. I've been battling with depression on and off like these past few months. And, you know, that was a way of me of just kind of like addressing the things that I feel that are holding me back. And I really need to get into a space where I fully release those things. And, you know, it's not all gone, but that piece is part of the process of like healing from all of that and growing from all of that. So it's, sometimes I do that piece and I get really emotional. I start crying and shit. Like it's crazy. But you know, thanks for not letting. I didn't cry. So I'm glad I didn't, because I'd be like, hold on a minute, guys. I get the ugly cry face. Like, nah, I don't want to do that.
It's powerful. Move anybody in any which way, whether it would be tears coming from your eyes or whether it would just be the stirring of the spirit. It's powerful shit.
Yes, facts. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
No, thank you. So we're coming up on the hour mark now, but we got a ritual here where we give like a final goodbye, lasting words that we give to the people before we cut out. So we'd like you to give yours as well. But before we even get into that, can you just remind the people where they can contact you, where they can reach out, you know, support the business, support your many ventures?
Yes, absolutely. Follow me on Instagram, My Crumble Thoughts. I'm J Rose. I host in-person and virtual events. So if you're creative and you're looking for a space to express yourself, I have space for you in person or virtually. If you're in person, if you're near the New York area, you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you could stay tapped in with the talk show. And I also do social media coaching. I didn't really talk about that today, but I do social media coaching. I specifically work with creatives and curators. So if you're looking to be a host and host your own events and you need coaching, or you're an artist and you want to know how to use Instagram and social media as a tool to market yourself, you know, you can reach out. You can schedule a free call with me and we see what you're looking for. But I do coaching. I do one-on-one coaching. I do master classes, you know, that are virtual, and I teach about social media. So yeah, you guys can tap in anything I talk about. If you feel like you missed it, I was talking too fast, just go to the link in the bio. It's all there for you. Nicely organized. It's not confusing, and just tap into whatever you feel calls to you. Do you want my last words? Is that what I go into now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I guess I can tell people to be intentional when you create, whether the intention is for yourself or whether the intention is to share with others. Be mindful of that intention. Some people, you have this pressure to constantly be creating, and it has to be fire, it has to be dope. And that's just pressure that you are creating for yourself, because nobody else is putting that pressure on you. So, you know, just create with the right intentions, put it out there, and you do your part. Your part is to create and put it out there. Everybody else is the one that has to tap in and, you know, but you do your part and be kind to yourself. You know, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay if you don't feel like you're where you're supposed to be right now. That's just how you feel. But according to the universe, you're exactly where you need to be right now. So make sure that you're not going to move forward until you learn the lesson that you need to learn. So make sure that you're listening and you're tapping in and you're really being paying attention to these lessons because it's not always loud. So you have to listen for that whisper for your lesson because you're not going to move forward until you get past that. You learn that lesson that you need to learn. Those blessings and that abundance is waiting for you on the other side. And you have to be able to learn that lesson so that that door can open and all that stuff can flood in for you. So that's what I got for y'all.
Yes.
I know, that was beautifully said. I don't think there's really too much I could say after that. But, you know, stay creative, you know, like as she said, you know, just walk in purpose, you know.
That's my favorite P word, purpose. Yeah. Let's go.
Don't be afraid to let loose, you know. Let it all be out there, you know. Embrace yourself, you know. Embrace yourself and allow others to embrace you, you know.
All right on. And my lasting word for tonight would be in the vein, honestly. Do it. That's simple. Do the work. And when I say do the work, it's not necessarily, you know, every day grind in and out, you know what I mean? Stress yourself and drink yourself to the last molecule. Nah, it's just my brother, actually, our brother, I should say, executive producer, much love. Executive producer of this show told me something real ill. He said that he was talking to an OG and the OG told him, you know, you ain't gonna, like, what passion is, you ain't gonna go far unless you're doing something about it every day. And it could be something as simple as just thinking about it. Even thinking about it, you're doing the work. You know what I mean? Because it's on your mind, which means that it's going to manifest into it's tangible. So do the work, day in, day out.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. Love that. Y'all better listen and tap in because we over here dropping some gems. Okay, y'all? Listen, I wish I had people like this, you know, when I was like younger. I would have definitely found my way through my artistry a lot sooner. But, you know, like timing, I guess this is when it was supposed to happen. So it is what it is. Maybe that's why I didn't have that experience so that I can grow up and want to give that experience to others. So who knows?
Hey, that's a part of the reason why PVM is what it is today. Jeide and I both wanted to share that experience with our fellow artists and those who coming up underneath us. And even those that's older than us, because you're never too old to really tap into this. This is like it's something that's for the heart. Like
absolutely. The heart is ageless.
Facts. You only as old as you want to be. It's all mental.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, 28 sounds about good.
You know?
Oh, J Rose, aka My Crumbled Thoughts. Thank you so much for being transparent, for your insight, for your gifts, for sharing your time and your energy, your presence with us. We appreciate you. We love you. We wish you a great evening. Even great.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored. I love it. And yeah, I really appreciate those of you. I hope y'all tapped in and enjoyed the poetry and the gems. And thank you. I'm so grateful.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And before we tap out, we got to shout out T-Shirt Mercenary, the official sponsor for PVM and all our merchandise.
Dope. I was gonna say y'all matching. Like I didn't get them.
I know.
Yo,
this happened off kilter. We didn't even talk about this. I just love that they showed up like this. Like
they got a uniform. Like, come on! I need to step my game up. I mean, this is my merch, but like, I want to match.
That's your uniform.
This is my. I love it.
Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Positive Vibes, maybe, you know, for past and present episodes like this one right here. It's going to be up for your viewing pleasure by this time tomorrow or earlier, preferably earlier.
Cool. Send me the link so I can share it. Let
Oh,
people tap in. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming up.
Back here Wednesday. It is
Sunday at 7.
Same place. We thank all with us. I love to y'all too. In the meantime, peace.